In previous lessons, we've made do with two simple tile types, solid and path. We'll now be looking at modifying our game engine to not only include new tile types, but also greatly simplify the process of creating new tile types whenever we wish to do so. We'll begin by modifying the game map array to make use of the new tile types we'll be defining. Instead of just 1s and 0s, we'll now be using values 0 through to 4, the corresponding types we'll be defining shortly. We also define some floor types. These tell us how the tile types we'll define should be treated when a character tries to move over them. Now we can define our actual tile types. We'll create a list of types to choose from, where each entry is identified by a unique number and has the properties colour, which will be used to draw the tile, and floor, which corresponds to an entry in our floor types list. We've created 5 types here, but there's no issue in creating more should we wish to do so. Let's also improve our character movement checks and input by creating some new methods for the character class. To begin with, we'll create a method which checks if the character can move to a specific map tile, given the x and y coordinates of the desired destination. Firstly, we'll check the coordinates and see if they fall outside of the map bounds. If so, we'll return false. Next, we'll check if the target tile floor type is not path. If it is not, we'll also return false. Finally, if we've made it past these checks, we'll return true. This tells us we can move to the destination tile. We'll now add methods for testing if the character can move in each of the cardinal directions. Each of these functions simply calls the previous canMoveTo method with the character's current position modified by 1 unit on the x or y axis, depending on the direction being tested. Up tests y minus 1, down y plus 1, left x minus 1, and right x plus 1. These functions then return the value returned by the canMoveTo method themselves. Let's also add some methods to begin movement for each of the cardinal directions. These move methods will simply take the current game time, t, as an argument, and modify either the x or y value of the character's tile2 property, depending on the direction of movement. The character's time moved property will be set to the time passed to the method with the argument t. We'll also update the code that processes player input to move the character. Now, for each of the arrow key inputs, we simply call the character's corresponding canMove method, and if the character is able to move in the desired direction, we call the character's move method for that direction, with the current frame time as the time argument. Besides now supporting any new tile types we wish to create, this makes our code a lot more readable. Finally, we'll change the method for setting the colour of tiles in the map drawing loop. We can remove the switch block we're currently using and replace it with one simple line that sets the canvas fill style value to the colour property of the tile type at the map position currently being drawn. This leaves us with much neater movement handling code and drawing code for our tiles, as well as the ability to add new tiles whenever we wish to do so with a minimum of fuss. It's as simple as modifying the tile types list, and then modifying your game map to make use of the new tiles, so try adding some new tile types of your own.